What up, y'all? Josh and Isi here once again with another quality video. As you guys are probably wondering, where the heck has Josh and Isi been? It's been like over a week since we've posted.
Yeah.
We have been living.
Yeah. We actually haven't gone MIA like that in a while.
Yeah, I know.
We needed it.
We do.
Yeah.
There's this thing called work-life balance.
100%.
And we are working the heck out of that life part.
Well, last week was our last week with Maya. So
I'm gonna just see real quick. Let me push that up.
what's wrong with how it was?
No, it's all good. I just, you know what I'm saying?
What's not how it was?
It was gonna bother me, the little fuzzy thing on the front.
Anyway, last week was our last week with my niece before she left us, went to college. Well, she's going to college tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, man, I'm playing that mini violin right now.
So I don't know. I feel like we just really wanted to embrace that week. It was a lot going on too, because we were the main people helping her, running her around for her trunk party that we had at my mom's house this past weekend. So
last week was busy.
It was a lot.
The whole week we planned her trunk party.
Right.
Her little homie came.
Yeah. Oh, right. And Lollapalooza. Right. Last week was a lot, y'all.
Last week was a lot. So we were like, you know what? We're just gonna focus on being happy, enjoying this time with Miss Maya.
Happy, healthy, hydrated.
Man. Happy, healthy, hydrated, period. And we were just going to enjoy every little bit of it because, like, time is precious to us. It's very precious to us. So we were like, you know what, Maya? It's your week. We're going to be helping you. We're going to be doing all this. We took her to the parking lot and taught her how to drive a little bit.
But we never finished
the video.
We're going to bring you guys a video of us teaching her how to drive.
And there's a long story on that because somebody's going to definitely be like, she's 17. She should drive. Well, during the pandemic, she was supposed to be getting her license and taking the class and all that, but COVID obviously put that to a halt. So hers is a little delayed, but we decided to get her behind the wheel for a little bit. I don't know what we'll do with that footage.
I don't know either. Any suggestions? Comment below, please.
Comment below if you have any suggestions for that. Oh, we're also smacking on Chick-fil-A salads right now. Well, she's smacking. I'm looking at mine. Oof.
Is that a pet peeve of yours, by the way?
What?
Smacking, or do you even notice?
Here's my philosophy on smacking. When I'm by myself, I smack hard.
When you're with me, you smack hard.
Yeah, because I trust you. You know, there's something about smacking that brings out the flavor in your food.
You always say this.
I'm telling you, it must be like extra oxygen in your mouth or something while you're chewing. I don't know for certain, but I do know that smacking does increase tasteability at least 20%. Give it a try. If you got some snacks on you right now,
it kind of does.
Chew it with your mouth closed. And I feel like there's a placebo effect to that too, because it's like when it's good, you be.
But I'm not a natural smacker though.
I'm not a natural smacker.
Chew with my mouth
I smack by choice.
Exactly. Me
and
too.
Man, I am unapologetic when I get to smacking, because trust me, that should be a compliment to whoever the chef is. If
You're
I'm
not
smacking,
even a smacker only, baby. When he loves the food he's eating, y'all.
I don't even have time to talk.
You don't have time to talk. You don't have time to breathe. No matter of fact, you just breathe harder, like you're running a race.
I just devour it.
We were eating some Harold's the other day, and
like a track star.
I was like in my zone, but then I heard this noise, and I look at him, and he's like, I was like,
you good?
Are you okay? Anyway. That's kind of where we've been, why we've been MIA for a while now.
We also,
You always think we can share a napkin.
I just want to touch it.
Get your own.
I just wanted to touch it. See where your heart's at. I see where it's at, though.
All right, see where it's at. That's where it's at.
Nah, but if you guys started to see or peep on our Instagram.
True. So yes, I like that you brought
Let's
this
talk
up.
about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. On our Instagram, you will start to see more quality content coming from Josh and Isi.
Individually and on our couple's Instagram account.
Yeah. And that's not to say we're not going to bring you guys like the organic raw stuff still, but we are trying to elevate because we had a conversation last week Hold on, let me finish chewing my food first. Because this mic is really like put me on blast with my chewing. But, I heard you jumping all over the mic. But we do want to put more quality content out there for you guys. We've come to the conclusion that there's not too many positive reflections of healthy relationships.
Of young black
healthy relationships on the internet. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's like dang near a war waged against happy relationships. You know what's funny though? Or not funny. Honestly, I don't even think it's funny. But like when people see our couples content, especially on TikTok, people be getting triggered. Be like, I'm so sick of these couples, these Instagram, like painting unrealistic expectations, this, that, and the third. And like, you know, to be honest, they might be onto something. Because like a lot of the times, there are like unrealistic expectations set via the internet because obviously everybody's putting their best foot forward.
100%. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, think about it. When we're into it, well, we do sometimes show it on a YouTube video.
Sometimes.
But Instagram, for instance, right? When we're into it, we're not taking a selfie or a picture or a cute TikTok video together. We're not doing none of that. So, like, I get that perspective, but it's also difficult because obviously the ups and downs of life, in particular the down parts of a relationship, you're not going to document that. Like, y'all are in the midst of trying to figure out whatever the down is anyway, so you're not going to whip out a camera.
Yeah.
And like, so obviously,
yeah, there's rarely ever a time where two people are fighting and the first thing they say to themselves is like, let's post this,
right?
You know?
So I feel like I agree with that in the sense where like maybe they might be on something, but I also feel like similar to an ongoing topic that we talk about a lot, managing your expectations. I feel like it should be a pretty known thing that
you two couples are still real human beings. That,
as well as obviously anything people post is a filtered version of their life.
True. Right?
So like, it's like, I get the harsh judgment, but it's also like realistically, like what else do you expect to see on the internet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy though? I actually I got a little motivation from some haters because my brother used to say this all the time. What? He was like, bruh, if people ain't hating, you're doing something wrong.
That's period.
Especially like on the road to success, people are going to laugh at you. People are going to call you crazy. People are going to call you a lot of things until it hits. Then they're going to come and ask for favors. Script flipped just like that. It's crazy how that does. You know, oh, by the way, I started noticing like with our wind downs, we call them wind downs because it's like at the end of the night, you know, it's late night vibes. I kind of want to call it Quality Conversations.
It's on brand.
It's really on brand. I really think it's more on brand.
Quality
Just call it Quality because you know, like, let's live at our edge. We don't drink like that, so like
we really don't.
I don't want to
wine every time.
Yeah,
that's
like,
true.
Are we really gonna drink wine every time? I was gonna drink some OJ, man. I was really about to switch it up on y'all, but like at the root of it, we're just having quality conversations. It's a little bit of mic, you know. Every once in a while, we can include some food or some wine, but like I like quality conversations. It's unique to us. It's on brand. It's on topic.
I like that idea. I do. Yep.
And it doesn't confine us.
Scrap it.
Scrapping wine down.
I think I already saw other people like they were using wine down.
I think someone has.
Like, we don't like.
I don't want to jot nobody's
stuff and stuff but we also like paving our own lane. Yeah. And remember that thing I sent you earlier this morning, the Nipsey clip when he was talking about stay in your own lane. It's already basically like traffic.
There's no traffic in your lane.
There's no traffic in your lane. Like.
There ain't no traffic in yours. You gonna jump in somebody else's lane and get stuck in traffic, or you gonna stay in yours?
Right. I love that.
I really
love that concept. So I'm all about us staying in our own lane and paving our own lane as we go.
Paving it.
So I'm here for the quality conversations.
Oh, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I didn't realize how popular we are.
What do you mean?
This whole last week, remember I kept telling you every time I left the building.
Right.
Ran into a subscriber. I was like, yo, I didn't think like, because I always look at my individual stuff and I'm like, yeah, I got a couple followers. It's cool, you know? And granted, I don't want to make nobody feel bad because I know I got like 60K or something like that. But like, it's not to the point where I think I would be like approached.
Well, no, quote unquote.
Approached every time I left.
As I always reiterate to you, in particular, people knew you when they knew me. People found out about me when they found out about you, and you about like.
I got that secondhand clout, man.
Literally, oh, bye, babe. It's not even about secondhand clout. Literally, if you're a real OG, not even like Josh and EC or Quality Crew or Beauty and Bow Days OG. I mean, before that. Yeah. I mean, 2016 when I started my channel. You were the first, like, the boyfriend tag was the first real video I posted on that channel.
Wow.
So people know who the you are.
I've been around.
You've been around.
We established that with your family too.
What you mean?
Everybody started thinking to themselves like, "Dang, Josh
been around.
Josh been here."
Yeah.
Yeah, going on 7 years. It's like you.
Oh my god.
You think
we are going on 7?
You don't even understand, man. Been around.
Time flies though.
Time flies. But I brought up the subscriber thing because I was actually heartwarmed that like I want to say like 3 out of the 5 people that I was approached by were men.
You talking about Lollapalooza also?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Were men.
Yeah.
That like I
know that means a lot to you.
It really does mean a lot to me because sometimes I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I feel like I'm just up here on the channel and we're preaching to women. But the uncommon denominator that I didn't really realize was that most of these girls are, you know, bringing their man along, and the man is watching too.
Which is fire.
That's
what we want, honestly.
Man, I can't tell you for the longest time. I was telling her, I was like, I look at my demographics a lot. My demographics is like, I got like 90-some% women following me and like 8% men. And I'm like, I really want to like get this message to men. I really want to get this message to men and like, you know, put a good example out there for men to aspire to. Because a lot of these men out here are, at least in the, I want to say in the spotlight of things, the men out here aren't,
in your opinion,
in my opinion, giving the best example of what a healthy relationship would look like. They give you an idea of what a healthy work life would look like, you know, like get into your bag, get into your grind, all this stuff. But I don't see too often men like really treating their queens.
I was also going to say too, though, I think that you show a good example more than just in terms of like our relationship. And what I would like to see you post more on your individual content is just like you're definitely on this manhood journey, as I've mentioned to you a lot lately.
Big facts.
Like, it's been crazy. I think you can probably share the same sentiment in terms of like we're growing up together. We've grown up into adults together. So from my stance, it's been very interesting and rewarding to see you grow into the man that you are. Because when we first started dating, I would definitely say we were like boy and girl, trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I was 19.
Yeah. So to see you become the man that you are and becoming, that's very... I just feel like it's something the world. I feel like you're doing a disservice to the world.
It's a journey.
And the men. Yeah.
It's a journey.
Not sharing that side of yourself.
Yeah.
Yet.
I don't think I have gotten to where I want to be. Yeah. But I think I'm on the right path.
100%.
And I think for the longest time, I didn't understand. This is transparent, but I didn't understand my purpose in Josh and EC. I thought we were just, you know, doing cute stuff. But I want to instill faith in the world that there are still good men out there. Because let's be honest, we talk a lot of crap about guys.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up.
We talk a lot of crap about guys. But the big but, there are still good guys out there.
100%.
110%. I see them.
Right.
I see them.
We recently
like
had one in
there
the
are
family,
good
low key. So.
There are good men out there, and I know there's a lot of good men watching this. If you're watching this, that
says a lot.
That says a lot.
100%.
To be honest, it does say a lot. It means that you and your girl are genuinely interested in getting better in your relationship. You know. So I don't want us to ever come off as if we're like just total male bashers.
But the reason I also said I was glad you brought this up is because our last wind down. The comment section, there were people mentioning how they feel like we focus too much on the cons of men, like males and stuff like that, and avoid talking about
the shortcomings of women.
Yes, exactly. And to an extent agree with that. I don't feel like we focus on it as much, but I can't say that we don't at all, because I know I personally have revealed toxic traits of my own on this channel. I just feel like maybe they didn't catch that video.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important to have that balance, especially as we are discovering like our following is growing, evolving. We are having more men enter the group chat. And just from their perspective, I never want any of our audience to feel like directly targeted and like it's not responsible. Onus on both sides. So
because relationships are supposed to be two partners equally yoked, which means that both sides have improvements.
Yeah.
Both sides have faults and shortcomings. So I think as we grow with these quality conversations, I think we have to, as the voice behind the message, have to do better about eliminating the bias sometimes that we run into. But nevertheless, still think there are plenty of great guys out there. So ladies, I want you guys to have hope, because I know I've seen it in the comments, when is my Josh coming around? Don't worry about getting a Josh. Just worry about finding the right man for you.
You know what I was going to say too, though? If you are an OG, you understand that the Josh sitting in front of y'all right now is not the Josh that I first started dating. And same here, like the EC sitting in front of y'all is not the same EC that he first started dating. So
yeah,
people see the like big 6 picture, like going on 7 in a really great place. I feel like people compare maybe and that's why people say don't compare your life to somebody else, because your chapter 5 might be somebody's chapter 10. And you don't know it.
You don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
Man.
So I think it's cool to see certain attributes about our relationship you might want to incorporate in your relationship. But don't like completely compare. Be like, Josh does this or EC does that.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it to yourself. Comparison is the killer of happiness.
And if you think about the complexity of life in general, there's no way somebody's going to have an identical situation or relationship as us. You know what I mean? So,
and we see other cool stuff with other relationships. Exactly. We be like, oh man, the wedding inspo we've been sending back and forth to each other. We're like, bruh, I wish we could find stuff like this, but we can't, You just can't. You got to have your own sauce and your own flair to it. But it's still cool. Like you take those things with a grain of salt, but it's like inspiration.
Right. I think we have a lot of good like fundamental things that can help.
Yeah.
Like when we say the friendship, the communication stuff like that. But like maybe our self-care Sunday is not something that, you know what I mean? Like
you don't have to do self-care Sunday.
Right.
But you do have to communicate.
Right. So we're saying all that to say what exactly?
We're not idols. We're human beings, and every once in a while we just happen to be right.
Something else I want to bring up, and I think this is something that I like about Quality Conversations. I gotta now reframe my mind to remember that's what we're calling it now. I think in the last wind down too, I had saw feedback. So something for me personally that I've been trying to work on as I'm growing more into my womanhood and adulthood and stuff like that, that's super difficult for me is, and has always been, I'm sure you could say, is basically like holding myself accountable and admitting when I'm wrong. Or period. I'll say period. I'm not gonna say
good shot.
Okay. Yeah, you see. And in the last wind down, me and you had that conversation about, you were asking like, why do women stay or something to that extent. And people caught my energy and I got frustrated and attitude about that. And I remember seeing a comment where somebody had basically said like, the energy I gave off made it seem like it was either you agree with me or
it's going to be a bad day.
Yeah. And that's not fair. And that's something that I can admit, like,
you know what I call those?
What?
Emotional chokeholds.
Yeah.
Like, I think men suffer from this probably more than women, because men, I don't even think some know how to do
emotionally choke.
But that's where the term like happy wife, happy life, which I actually don't like that statement, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But I feel like that comes from emotional chokeholds. It's like, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to deal with the emotional backlash.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, I guess you could say, publicly apologize to you for that. I know I did it off camera. But I just, because
I genuinely appreciate that, though.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying.
I mean, I did see your point. I did see your point. I just didn't want to upset you.
Yeah. I think, it's just something that I have to continue working on, especially because obviously ever since you put this ring on my finger, I've been trying to shift my mentality of how I handle our relationship, because it's not just a relationship anymore. It's about to be a marriage, like lockdown, lifetime. You know what I mean?
Clink,
clink, clink, clink. So I want it to be as peaceful as possible for both of us.
Ooh, and that is a man's best friend.
Right?
Peace.
So if there's something that I have done or I'm doing to disrupt your peace, and peace isn't just in terms of you like just feeling comfortable or whatever, it's in terms of you being able to speak up and not feel like I'm putting you in an emotional chokehold. That's really important for me, because that is going to contribute to the health of our marriage.
Yeah. So, more specifically, the health of our communication, which does lead into the health of our relationship.
Right. So, along with wanting it to be clear that this isn't just like a male bashing channel and women need to be held more accountable, this is me holding myself accountable for
Good
that.
Shot.
And I want to, like I said, apologize to you for that, because I think watching the footage back as well as seeing other people's comments and opinions, that's kind of what we signed up for. We're sharing our life with people. So constructive criticism can be beneficial sometimes, because I believe the comment that I'm basing it off of didn't feel like it was targeting me or like
more so like looking out.
Type stuff.
I feel like, there's a fine line between like constructive criticism and hate. Some people in the comment section don't know the difference, but at the same time, I feel like there are some people that do.
Sorry.
What's up? What's up?
It's falling. I keep on falling. Thank you. Go ahead.
But yeah, I feel like our comment section is filled with a lot of constructive criticism, wisdom, smart young ladies and gentlemen that are really trying to like help us. Sometimes we don't ask for it. Sometimes we just take what we can from it. We rock and re-rock things from time to time again, but we do appreciate you guys' comments and feedback, because honestly, it sometimes helps to have a third opinion.
100%. Clearly. That's why I brought it up, because I never want anybody to think that we are portraying like this perfect picture, perfect individuals, perfect relationship
that just
type of
sets
thing.
you up to be
right.
It just sets you up to be disappointed.
Yeah, and I never want to give off that type of energy. I always want to remain as transparent as possible on this platform. So that ties into living true and holding true to that mentality, which is why I want to do that on camera.
I feel that, and I appreciate that. And ladies, I'm telling you, if you want your man to be open and honest, try to avoid emotional chokeholds. Because if a man feels like I could tell you the truth, but I know what's coming after that,
hold it.
They're just gonna hold it to themselves.
I feel like that's dangerous too, because doing that leaves the potential for someone else to come in.
Yep.
And give him that listening ear and allow him to speak his mind.
The non-judgmental listening ear.
Bruh, you don't want to open those doors.
Don't open it.
And I'm not saying that like that was gonna happen with our relationship. No. I'm just saying that's a con that could happen if it continues.
It's a potential outcome.
Catch yourself. Yeah. So it's important.
I tweeted something about that.
What?
I was like, if you overreact every time someone tells you the truth, expect to be lied to.
That's deep.
It's deep, but it's true.
It's true.
If someone tells you the truth, what they feel is the truth, and you overreact every time, I'm gonna just stop telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I might just stop talking to you altogether.
Yeah.
Big facts.
So I'm still not perfect at it yet. The lack of emotional chokehold and stuff like that.
You may not be perfect in the apologetic sense, but I'm not perfect in my emotional maturity and timing. Like I could have read the room better. I could have read that a little better, or maybe phrased it in a way that didn't come. Because we talked about it later. It was more so like how I asked it, in sort of like an airy kind of way, instead of like a let me meet you at your level and let's have a conversation. You know what? I'm glad you brought it up because I just thought of another situation with when Amaya was here. That was an interesting. Can we get into that a little bit? I mean, yeah, we can dive into it. Miss Maya, if you're watching it, yeah, we finna call you. We love you. It's not even really about her. It's just, it was interesting to see the effects that having another person in our space, what it did to our relationship. Not saying it did this horrible thing, but it was really, really, really different. Because
for the last 6 going on 7 years, it's just been me and you, to be honest. Because even when she would visit in the summer and stuff, she would be with my mom. This is the first time we've had a place to ourselves that we can like have a guest room. So this was like some real different territory.
It's like cohabitating without like we know we're good when it comes to
we know how to but with another energy and presence is different on top of it being
a minor,
right? I don't want to call her a child, but she was a minor, so we were held responsible for her. And I remember, I don't know if we talked about it before or after she had left, but just so it would be times, right, when Amaya would want to do something, go out somewhere, hang with friends or whatever, and I would be in the room with her at one point, go to take a shower, so to speak, and then Josh will be in the room with her, and she'll tell Josh, I want to do this. And then when I get out the shower, Josh comes and tells me Amaya
said she's
wants to do X, Y,
and Z.
And for me, it wasn't until me and him like really sat down and discussed, at least how, from my perspective, how that made me feel. Literally, it was a miscommunication.
It was a matter of, I got you. It was a matter of context, not the content. Mm-hmm. The content was easy. Mm-hmm. Amaya wants to do X, Y, Z, this, and the third.
Right.
When I brought it to her, I phrased it in a way that
like he already made
like
the decision
I already
with
okayed
her.
It.
Right.
And I didn't okay it. Mm-hmm. I basically said to her, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to run it past your auntie. We're going to do it. But then when I came to you, I was like, yeah, she said she's going to this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
But it didn't come off as if I was asking you, like, what are your thoughts or opinions?
Right.
Like,
it
what
was like,
your decision
he already
was?
made that decision with her. And that rubbed me wrong.
It rubbed her wrong. Y'all. And I didn't realize. It was only until, like, she left.
Towards the end.
That we
never had to deal with figuring out somebody else's like life, making sure they're safe, like stuff like that. And I feel like it was a nice little like peek into parenting
intro
for us. It was an intro. Yes,
it was like a little intro
obviously,
into like how do you handle
right. But like I'm kind of glad that we had that experience.
Yeah.
Because now just that lesson alone obviously will carry into when we are parents.
Save us some frustration.
Like, exactly. So there's definitely pros and cons to it, but I'm glad that you had brought up the whole. It has to do with like delivery and context, and the older I'm getting, I also am realizing not even just me and you, like there's so many miscommunications that just happen in life with relationships that like I forgot where I saw it, read it or whatever recently, but just how like everybody has different perspectives.
Yeah,
everyone. So your perspective on a situation could be completely opposite of what the other person's perspective was. But because you guys aren't communicating that, it's going to just be an assumption until somebody says something. Or it won't. It just, you know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy? I feel like 90% of the time, it is a matter of how you deliver it. It's not the message. It's not the message. It's how you deliver it. Prime example.
What?
Our failed video. Well, I wouldn't even say it was a failed video, but this Kevin Samuels video.
Yeah, we got to get into that.
First,
that comment section was interesting.
Yeah, let me go ahead and first start by saying we're not doing that again. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Couple reasons why. One, the comment section looked like a war zone.
And it was like mixed. It was a mixture. It wasn't all awful, but then it was some people who were like,
I hate him. He talks bad about the way he talks to the way he talks to women. The way he talks, and like, that man is something very interesting. But yeah, a lot of his messages will get thrown out the door because he doesn't know how to talk to people.
He doesn't deliver them well. And it does seem like he does target.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch him enough to have a full opinion. I don't really. Which I also feel like people in the comment section were assuming, like, how do you guys agree with this man? Type stuff. And it's like, we don't watch him like that. Yeah. We're not like habitual watchers of him.
We've seen 2 videos.
Right.
And that was the second.
Right. And the main reason, and I think, did I come up with the idea to do that reaction?
No, we just seen somebody recommend it. And we were like, all right, Kevin Samuels, who is, I didn't know of Kevin Samuels. So I seen the comment. And then I started researching and seeing one video. I was like, okay, so he gives advice to women. All right, whatever. His delivery was a little off, and I didn't watch the first part of it. But I was like, all right, cool, let's jump into it.
And I was okay with it because seeing in the previous wind down, people were saying that, like, we should focus a little bit more on what women do wrong or, like, what women can work on and stuff like that.
I thought what he had was gonna help, but that did not.
No,
I didn't realize his delivery. You could have a great message, you can have all the answers in the world, but if you don't know how to deliver it, dog, it's not. It doesn't even matter. It don't even matter.
Because for me, I remember somebody. There was a couple different comments like, "How could you guys agree with this? I can't believe you guys like think that he's right with how he did that," or stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like if you really watched our video and listened to what we said, listen to understand what we said, not listen to respond.
Some people went a little far though.
Yeah, like you
would have
understood.
I'm disgusted with you guys.
Yeah,
what?
Like what?
What did we do?
It didn't matter if it was a woman or a man he was talking about or talking to. The context of the conversation was that she was more in love with her job than the potential of like being a girlfriend or a wife. So he wasn't wrong about like,
I'm gonna charge the laptop for $1.
oh my goodness, he wasn't necessarily wrong about how he got to that thought process, but his delivery on it was trash. That part I can't agree with. But there were some things that I do feel like it's hard to say like he was right, because then, you know, I hear a whole bunch of movement back there. You're okay.
My bad.
I don't know. I kind of need your help on this. I need your help on this. I'm going to wait for Josh to come back, y'all, because I'm not trying to get dragged again.
And we back.
Okay.
All right. So what?
I was trying to explain like the parts that he was saying that we like agreed with, quote unquote, and it wasn't like complete agreement with him. It was just.
I think I had. Okay, so hear me out, because I'm a man. So I don't think I felt the same thing as women. Let's be honest. I'm not in your shoes, so I can't necessarily say I feel the same things that y'all feel. Right? Y'all have had the women experience your whole lives. In so being that, I would say that my emotional lenses were turned off, and I was more so just listening to like what he had to say to the girl.
Right.
Not how
just
he delivered
facts,
it,
right.
just the facts of the matter of like when she said she was in therapy, but that was last year.
Yeah, he wasn't wrong. Like that's what he wasn't wrong about it.
But the way he's putting her on blast is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I don't know.
And he never gave a
good solid explanation
to like what she should do to prepare to be a wife. He just deemed her unfit, and that part I didn't agree with.
And I'll never ever ever say someone is unfit for love.
Right. Yeah.
Or like.
And I remember somebody commenting like, because she said that she had only had one relationship before or whatever, and he said you have no dating history, blah blah blah. And I saw somebody comment like, well, isn't E.C. Josh's first relationship?
I mean,
yes.
And to be honest, I think we both recognize how unusual that is.
That you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I always felt like I was a different kind of individual. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but like, you're not my first encounter with another woman.
Yeah, we know.
Okay, so like, it's not like I have no background in like what it takes to like communicate with a woman or like whatever. It's just in the whole dating realm of things. I didn't know the rules and regulations of what dating looks like. So the first year of us being was rough. It was rough. I don't think anybody understands that. I don't think people really understand 1 and 2. Year 1 and 2, them Johns was rough. I'm talking big rough. Woof. We argued like every other day. If it wasn't left, it was right.
You know what? Well, do you think there's a difference between bicker and argue?
It was bicker.
I was gonna say bicker.
It was more like
he
bicker.
wasn't like heavy arguing
like,
over nothing.
The funny thing was, it was like a circular motion. It would be like the morning comes, we're cool. Something hits the fan midday. We bicker about it. We go away for each other, come back together.
And I was quick to catch attitudes back then.
Yeah.
Like
I was quick to let you have your attitude and walk off. I said, oh, bet she mad. Cool. And I be gone. And like, you know, it was a pretty toxic cycle.
Sounds real bad, babe.
It was a pretty toxic cycle. Because I didn't understand that, like, you know, being a part of the relationship means that like I have to be able to nurture your insecurities. I have to be able to protect you in moments that I didn't know was like, that's your time.
Yeah.
As the boy.
And I wouldn't say that you were like gone.
No.
I would say that you took a long time to be like, what's wrong with you?
Because in my head, I'm like, I'm giving her space to cool off because that's what I would have wanted. But again, no emotional intelligence.
We have to learn that about each other, though. Like, I'm someone who, I mean, I want a little bit of space maybe when I'm mad, but don't give me no 3, 4, 5 hours. I don't need that much time.
No, she needs like an hour max.
And then let's talk. Whereas Josh will stay away for 3, 4, 5 hours. Here's the thing. Back then.
It was so funny because like I did it every time, but I would just stay away until you texted me. Like, where you at? Oh, I'm coming. Well, you ready to talk? In my head, I was like, she's going to talk to me when she's ready to talk. But in your head, you're like, he's supposed to come and make things better. Didn't know that. Didn't know it at all.
Even like, obviously, present day, would you say, by the way, before I make my statement, that now that we're engaged on the road to marriage, that you're starting to have a like different or elevated expectations of me? As your future wife, yeah. I
also will say that I know you like the back of my hand. Yeah. So like, you're not operating outside of my expectations of you anymore. You've set your expectations for yourself over this past 6 years that now I hold you to those. Right. But my original expectations are long gone.
Okay. That's good. Because I brought that up though because I think maybe a month or so ago, I had told you about like an expectation I had of you as like being my husband and stuff. It was similar to what we're kind of discussing. Obviously, you don't wait 4, 5, 6 hours anymore. No. But like just coming up to me relatively quickly, not even giving me an hour and just pulling me aside and be like, because Josh does not like confrontation. And it's not that I want confrontation, but it's like he'll literally avoid staying in the same room as me if he knows I'm upset.
Yeah, I'll just be like, bro, I'm not even trying. Because like,
whereas for me, let me finish my statement. Okay. Whereas for me, I'm looking for him as my future husband to be like, all right, are you done? Like, let's talk this out and let's get this done. Because as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like staying upset with each other for hours, especially the situations that have brought themselves to light this year with relationships around us, right? I value and cherish our relationship and friendship so much. I don't want to go hours without talking to you. I can't. I don't want to. I can't and I don't want to. Yeah. So
I feel that.
That's why, like, oftentimes, especially as of recently, when we get into it, I'm like, can you just come up to me and we can just squash this? And like, bruh, I loved it. Actually, this is why that conversation came up. It was some months ago. I forgot. It was something petty that I think I had a little attitude about or whatever. And you told me, you were like, babe, this is not going to matter tomorrow. And I started cracking up because I'm really thinking it might have been like he ate a piece of my chicken. It wasn't that, but something as petty as that. And he was right. I have to just laugh it off like, yeah. As we're stepping into marriage, holding on to that little shit is a waste of time. Yeah. So.
And I feel like, sometimes I feel like with those situations, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think you understand the power of your energy. That's like, because when you
I know.
We don't yell at each other. No. But doggone, you feel that junk. Hold on, somebody delivering.
Dang, I feel like I heard the bell in my ears. That for you? Yeah.
I got a little package. Yeah, but but as I was saying, your energy, man, it's potent. I'll give you that. It's potent. Like she ain't yelling. She ain't yelling. She ain't cursing.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But man, that shoulder can get cold.
I do.
The shoulder can get cold, and that's why I be like, all right, I need to go on and get up out this room real quick. Either that, or I gotta put on a jacket, something. But like, I have gotten better at like, giving her some time. Yeah, she's gonna be riled up a little bit. She's gonna be upset. I'll let her, go cool off and then come back and back. All right, cool. Let's squash this shit.
Yeah, it used to be where I would be upset hours will go by, and I'll be like, are you gonna ask me what's wrong?
It just gives you more time to marinate as to why you're more mad.
Yeah, it made me more mad, because I'm like, this man really ain't trying to either find out why I'm upset, or he already know and he don't care to talk about it. Yeah. Either one of those options was frustrating for me. So
I think it was a little bit of both in the early years. Mm-hmm. It was like, I don't know, and then I was like, I kind of know, but it's like, I don't need to be told again, and I know I'm just gonna be told again. Mm-hmm. Then you're going to be playing the sorry game. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, too. I'm sorry about that.
How many sorries do you think you've said in this relationship?
Boy, if I got paid for sorries, bro, we'd have been in.
Don't do it.
We'd have been.
Don't do it, Josh.
We'd have been up.
We are up.
Yeah.
It's not finding. Well, we're up with that, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, my sorries paid off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now we're happy, healthy, and hydrated. Yeah. So we're all good. We're all good on this end.
Took a while.
It did. Now I do have a weird, okay, so it never, and this is me loving with you. It never crossed your mind that, like, okay, so you're the mad party. So once your temper has gone away, you can come back to me and be like, hey, I'm good now.
No, I'm never good until we talk. I'm that type of person. I'm dead ass. Like, I'm never good until we talk.
But do you ever get to a point where it's like, I'm good enough to talk now?
Yeah, those are the times where I come find you. Like, are you gonna ask me what's wrong? Like, are we gonna talk now?
But I mean, like, that was like when we did that. You'd say you'd text me like 4 or 5 hours later.
Maybe I'm not talking about Josh Neese in college. I'm talking about the last 2 years now.
The last 2 years. Well, the last 2 years we've been doing back and forth. Sometimes I solve it, sometimes you solve it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, guys have feelings too. Mm-hmm. So in situations where, you know, maybe you feel hurt, who knows? Maybe I feel hurt too.
Then let's talk about it.
Yeah. But like, okay, so who comes to who if we both hurt?
And that's why I said, I don't know if it's a fair expectation, but for me as your future wife, I'm expecting you as my future husband. Not all the time, but most of the time to come to me. Because I guess, too, this is just my own personal perspective, obviously, and, like, opinion about it. But when I think of, like, husband and, like, at least the way society paints out the husband should be, like, the head of the household and stuff like that. As the head, I'm expecting you to lead us a lot of the time. Yep. I know oftentimes we're, like, you know, we're pretty equal in this relationship and stuff, but I don't know how to explain it to you for it to make sense.
I get what you're saying. As the man, like, we've gotten to this point now where I've told her, like, I do want to be the leader of the household. Yeah. And not even like I'm calling the shots. Yeah. You know, you do what I say kind of thing. Uh-huh. Like, no, that's not it. I feel like I try to lead spiritually. I try and push that.
Yeah, you do.
Communication, like, and even in terms of, like, you know, solving problems, is my job to lead us out of this problem, or at least I just take it upon myself. And I'm just giving you shit, talking about, like, you don't come to me this and that. It's just me playing devil's advocate.
See, because I didn't know that until you just said that, so there was a miscommunication there. Because I'm like, is this man serious right now? Like, we didn't have this talk off camera.
Yeah, we definitely had that talk, but I was just giving another perspective, because sometimes, you know, the energies can be different throughout every relationship. You really don't know.
That's why I said for me.
Yeah, for us.
My expectation. For
me and my house.
Yeah, like, that's my expectation from my husband. Like, I would like that. I'm not saying
you can say
always me. You. I know. So I don't know.
It's weird, right?
It's weird.
It's not even weird, because, like, I don't know, man. When people. It's always funny, because, like, when I introduce you, I damn near almost say, this is my best friend. And then I'm like, oh, wait, this is my girlfriend. Oh, wait, this is my fiance. Oh, shit.
Sometimes you say wife.
Yeah, and, like, sometimes when I'm really on
when
that.
When a guy tries it, Josh
that's my wife.
That's my wife, bro.
Back off. Back off. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten, like, you see me, I'm not normally a very quick to anger person, but
you don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all.
No.
I really be like, not my wife. Not me.
Even with that, like, we're in such an interesting phase in life right now, because we are, like, when is the month? A couple months from now, this time next year, we will be officially married.
Well, what? Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't solidified the date, so
but
I'm
speaking that shit.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. I know next year.
Yeah.
I know that.
So I'll just say that. But yeah. I'm just thinking, I was dang near trying to say this time next year.
Yeah.
We'll be married.
Yeah.
So even that conversation, thought of that being in this phase right now, it's just very interesting. Obviously, neither one of us have ever gone this far before.
Who are you talking?
And I don't feel like, I think that we're in a great place. I also think that it's not discussed enough, though, especially for young couples taking that next step, how it's a flood of emotions. Even though I know 1,000% you're the one for me, it's still a flood of emotions. Like, I'm committing my life. At least for us, we take that really seriously. Like, we don't plan on getting a divorce.
It's not how we rock it.
So it's like,
we're making sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed.
Exactly. So with that, obviously a lot of conversations need to be had. A lot of thoughts come into your head.
Difficult included.
Yeah, difficult included. And I just feel like I wish that there was more, and maybe we need to be the blueprint for it, but I wish there was more like kind of honest conversations about the whirlwinds of emotions when it comes to this, because I think a lot of people like kind of have this mentality, you know, you're marrying the love of your life and everything is great and everything is perfect and this, like, and yes, but the other side is there's a little bit, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for you or anybody else, but there's some nervousness there. I want to be good at it. I want to be you know what I mean? Like, so it's just interesting.
And it'll be interesting to see like what everybody says, like you change after marriage. I feel like we're just going to slide right into that.
100%.
I feel like we're just going to slide right in there and keep stride of what we're going.
Yeah.
It's just now I get to put this ring on the other thing, which, by the way, I have to get a custom made because I broke that knuckle. But
you know what I was thinking about the other day?
What's that?
I've kind of been running different lines of my vows in my head every once in a while. I'm starting to think about that.
I ain't even gonna give you a taste. I got a
Don't
couple.
Give me a taste. Don't give me a taste.
I got a couple things up my sleeve already, but you know.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
tears.
Something that I'm not saying this is what the vows are gonna say verbatim, but just something I was kind of dwelling on recently was just like, this man knows all sides of me, including my ugly side. And the ugly side are those like toxic traits, toxic behaviors, not so nice ways, and you still love me. That's like deep.
Deep.
That's deep. I mean, I've revealed all of myself to you, and you have still made the decision that you want to be with me. And that's deep to me. Yeah. And vice versa, the sentiment is the same, but I just know sometimes I can cause a little bit of mayhem in your life or whatever.
Yeah. And some may call that unconditional love, but I don't believe in unconditional love.
No? Remember years ago we had that talk on that car ride? Your mentality has changed?
Unconditional love can come from God because he knows everything. But let's be honest. Let's be honest. You love me and I love you too. There's not a lot. This is crazy because this is what I told you years ago and you was on my ass, babe. Yeah. You've been with me through some very tough times. Broke, homeless, crazy. Like, you've been through me with that, right? Which means, like, you know, it's pretty close to unconditional love. I slap your mama, it's over.
See, and this is what the conversation was. This maybe almost 4 years ago. We had this car ride. We had a road trip back home from visiting your family. And we were talking about the concept of unconditional love. And I remember my stance on it was basically, I don't know if I said I don't believe in it, or I don't agree with it. Because to me, it's not like I have it is. I have a conditional love, because if you disrespect me to a point where I feel like I cannot forgive it or it's just completely unacceptable, I'm out. And therefore, that's a condition. To me, unconditional love is kind of saying like they can do anything. Any and everything. And I'm going to still be there. And that's not true for me. That's not true.
And you know, for some people, it may be like there may be some people that unconditionally love someone through the thick of it.
I've seen it, and in some cases, it's not deserved though.
Yeah, I mean, totally.
I wish I could give the example in my head, but I'm not going to do that. It's too much dirty laundry. But I'm just saying there's some people that stay in marriages where they should have been left.
But okay, see, I believe that unconditional love is possible, but I don't think it's very common, if ever, because everybody has conditions. Mm-hmm. That's why the dating game is so crazy. That's why people are breaking up, getting back. If everybody was unconditionally loving everybody, it would just be a whole lot of love going down.
I was gonna say, it's interesting that's your mentality now, because my mentality has actually started shifting a little bit more with you towards unconditional, just in the sense of, at least based off what you have given me in this relationship thus far.
There's nothing I could do to make you stop loving me.
Yeah, like there is an unconditional. If this is who you are giving me and who you'll remain to be, just in the sense of like your core. I know we're going to grow and change and evolve together and stuff as we get older, but I'm just saying, just in terms of the heart, like the soul, if we continue to connect this way, then I can unconditionally love you for the rest of our lives. Yeah. I can confidently say that. The condition comes when if you switch it up on me and I'm getting a soul or energy from you that I've never received before, like that I can't trust, so to speak. The soul energy and, like, I guess you could say spirit that you have shown me for the last almost 7 years is something I can unconditionally love. Yeah. I mean, again, it's extremely easy to unconditionally love a good person. Exactly. But the condition, exactly.
Yeah, because like it's good. The conditions are right, so I could say unconditionally because the conditions is right, you know. But like you cheat on me, have another wife, have a whole another family, like that. That's where I draw the line. Yeah, it's like, okay, then it's not unconditional, but that's not the you that I know. But the only back into that, right? That I can say is like, I can love you unconditionally. Like the crazy is with my family. I love my family unconditionally. They do the craziest things, the darndest things, and I'd be like, dang, I still have to love you. With you, honestly, you could really do me dirty, and I would be like, dang, I have to leave you, but I think I still love you. Like, so do you think that, like, I see what you mean. I love you. You can leave a situation and still love somebody. I'll leave. I love you, but I will remove myself from this situation just for my sanity. Yeah. Kind of thing. So I still like see that there's kind of an unconditioned there. We got to talk about this off camera. Unconditional, conditional love. Right. I don't know. What do you guys thought? Yes, please. What are your thoughts on unconditional versus maybe conditional love? Like, which side do you teeter totter on? More? Oh man, I used to see some posts where dudes were like, men are the only people that don't get unconditional love, this, that, and the third, because like as a man you're expected to have money or like have something to bring to the table. If you don't have anything to bring to the table, women are just like, nah, whatever. Whereas like the other way around, sometimes you could get a pass. Yeah, I get that. If you got a pretty face, you could get a pass. But you know what? You just brought up something that just triggered another thought. Oh, you know what I'm gonna say? Kind of, but I'm gonna let you do it. The pretty privileged conversation. Woo-wee! So real quick, what time is it? How long have we been going? We've been going for. So I'm like, should I save this for another one? We've been going for just under an hour. All right. So, 2 weeks ago, I was starting to listen to podcasts. By the way, if you have any podcast suggestions, my ladies in particular, on like self-love, empowerment, boss shit, please comment below, because I'm starting to get into podcasts, like listening to that type of stuff. It's motivational for me. But anyway, I stumbled across this YouTube video of this black woman who was talking about, her title was basically, I don't have pretty privilege. Like, and I don't know how many of you guys have heard about this topic or conversation. To break down what pretty privilege is, the first time that phrase was introduced to me was like 2-3 years ago. I went on this trip, and the person that I went on the trip with said that she has pretty privilege, and she explained that an example of pretty privilege is going to a club or a bar and never having to pay for your own drink, or being able to skip the front of the club line and flirt or bat your eyes at the security guard or whatever, and they let you in. Fun fact. What? People who are considered attractive have a 60% higher chance of getting the job over someone who is not attractive. Pretty privilege.
right? So, but this has been like, I guess, a trending topic. My niece was telling me, I guess it was on TikTok, where it's this thing like, tell me you have pretty privilege without saying it, basically. So like some people would do a TikTok saying like, random men send me $100 a week for feet pictures, or I don't know, like just get things out of life in exchange for your presence, your beauty, like stuff like that.
I will
your
say,
beauty's transactional, I guess is basically.
I'll be the first to admit.
You feel like you get pretty privileged.
I get it.
Because she was saying, the girl I was with was saying her brother said that he has it too. And it was interesting because the black woman's YouTube video that I was watching was her expressing how she doesn't have it, she's never had it. And she was just explaining how basically she feels like it doesn't matter what she does in terms of maybe changing her hair, her outfit, her look, or whatever. She's just always overlooked when she enters a room. And
I will counter that by saying she needs to first start by changing that mentality. But
yes and no, though. But remember, I told you she has a little bit of validity. I think I'm trying to like walk on eggshells with this conversation, but we said we were going to do better with this about being blunt. So to be blunt about it, the black woman she was a chocolate black woman, similar to me, if not a little bit more on the chocolatier side. And I, along with thousands of other women in her comment section, related to her story and her experience of being a dark-skinned woman in this society.
I mean, we've had our run-ins.
Yeah. Oh, right. We even did a YouTube video on it. I 1,000% know I'm beautiful, right?
I do too.
Thank you. But there's no but. There's a period. However, in my life, I've experienced and also seen. I can say I don't have pretty privilege.
I could say you have a mild form of it compared, like there's a scale. It's not like you have it or you don't. There's like a scale.
I also don't necessarily look for it. Like I don't go to bars looking to give off that energy. Like I want my drink to be paid for and stuff. Like I don't move like that. Maybe if I did, I would get a little bit more attention. I don't know. Either way, though, the point that I'm trying to say is, in particular, black women experience this treatment a lot, the not having pretty privilege and not being acknowledged and stuff like that.
They get the short end of the stick every time.
100%. And it made me sad to hear the woman's podcast/YouTube video, because she basically had a mentality like she was kind of giving up a little bit, like just giving up on the thought or idea of love, so to speak.
And that's sad.
And that part is sad, because I do feel like you can still definitely find love. But it just sucks because I'll give her story really quick. Long story short, she got all dressed up and done up for her birthday and decided to go out to this like little bar, club type of thing, restaurant, whatever type of thing. And she said typically in the past, she'd always avoid those type of venues because whenever she would enter, like her self-esteem would be shot because no one would look at her at all. So when she decided to go out for her birthday, get done up, hair done, makeup, like kind of like sexy revealing dress or whatever, she entered into this venue. And she was like, there was a group of guys that kind of looked around her age group or whatever, and maybe like 5 or 6 of them sitting at the table along with other people in the restaurant club thing. And like no one acknowledged her. No one. And she said at one point in her head, she was like, oh, people are probably eating, like having their conversations. Like, you know, like it's not even a matter. She wasn't expecting someone to like see her get up and just want to talk to her. But it was just like just the acknowledgement of like, look, I'm right here. When somebody walks past you, for the most part, typically people like, you make a quick eye contact, glance or something. She said she got nothing, right? But then in her head, she was like, oh, maybe like people are eating, people are busy, conversations, blah, blah, blah. But then she invited her friend to meet up with her there, who she said was more on the fairer side, more European kind of features. But her friend, like no makeup, no anything, but like people were just enamored by her. And so to speak, this was a woman, the way she described it, that has pretty privilege. Yeah. And she said in that moment, that's when she realized she more than likely will never have it. There's other things in her life that kind of like spewed into this conclusion that she's come to. But I could just relate in a sense. I've never had a like hard time getting a guy, so to speak. But I do feel like there's been plenty of conversations. I remember even in college, there's different things that guys would say about darker skinned girls. that isn't a good thing.
I used to always say black of the berry, sweet of the juice.
Yeah, you like chocolate women. I think that also comes from your mother being chocolate. Like,
shouts out mama.
But unfortunately, there's a lot of black men who don't. Men in general who don't. And that's not to say there's other men that there's people that like black women. I'm not taking that away, but my focus right now is on the conversation of how black women, and in particular the darker the skin most of the time, are heavily overlooked.
Yeah, or fetishized in a weird way.
Yeah, exactly. So it made me sad to see that video, and then it was even crazier to read the comment section of how many women could relate. Like thousands, babe. Like,
and that's sad.
Thousands.
It's sad being on the the picked side. You're not the picker. You're among the picked. Because then you start learning a lot of stuff. When you start letting life come to you, and like life doesn't start coming, then you start like questioning yourself and your worth. And I don't think any girl, woman, person should have to go through that.
Yeah.
I hate playing that numbers game. It's a sad statistic, but girls outnumber men, so it's gonna be a little rougher on you guys' end of things.
Yeah.
And oh man, it's a tough one.
Even when you think about, like, there's plenty of stories out there about how it's not even just men, but I was gonna use the example. I think there was a man in particular who was adamant about his wife being like of fairer skin because the mixed baby thing. The conversation about like mixed babies versus chocolate or darker skinned babies, like even that, all this stuff really is just bullshit and ties back to slavery. If we're being honest with each other.
Oh,
about all of this.
You know where this came from?
What? The paper bag?
I mean, the paper brown. That's before that, man. If you look up the Willie Lynch letters.
Oh, you told me about that.
It
gets deep. It's
a disturbing read, but like, trust me when I say all the trauma that black people are feeling today was calculated.
100%. And I think the reason I even brought up the pretty privilege thing, because obviously we were having this conversation with my niece, who is a little bit closer to Josh's complexion. She tried to argue that she's close to mine. I'm like, sis, you're tanned. Okay, you were just in Miami for a week out in the sun. She's not my complexion. Regardless of that, though, she was telling us about this pretty girl group tags her and her college buddies have formed and stuff. And I remember when she first got here, she was showing me the girls in the group text. And when I brought up this conversation to her, and I think I showed you guys the woman's podcast, like what she looked like, right? My niece was at first like,
she didn't believe it.
And
then when we started telling her, assess the girls in your quote unquote pretty girl group chat.
Exactly.
And then she started like looking, and we're like, you see what we're saying?
She's like, oh, see, she's brown skinned. And I'm like, Maya, you pushing it? She's like, and then she'll keep swiping, and it's a lighter girl and even a lighter girl. And that's fine. I'm just trying to get her to have her lenses a little bit more wide open to the fact, because even she at 17 be like, men slide into her DMs trying to pay for feet pictures and just pay her in general, and that wild stuff that she, you know what I mean? Like,
internet's
she
crazy.
Has a form of pretty privilege that she
wasn't aware until we told her.
She told me she was aware of it. She said she knew she had pretty privilege, but she didn't understand that not all girls do. And in particular, not all black girls that are darker than her don't have that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we had that conversation with her, because obviously you don't know what you don't know. That Jahari window is now open to pay attention to her peers or her other girlfriends who might be of a darker complexion than her and not getting the same treatment. Because to me, I think it's important for that to be realized, because you don't want to deal with no man that treats another fellow, in particular black woman, we're talking about black people. If you were the type of, if I was light skinned and I had a dark skinned friend and you kind of like negated her or whatever, like I wouldn't want to be with you, regardless of you still wanting to be with me because I'm lighter skinned. Because to me, I just look at people, men in particular, black men in particular, I look at them really sideways when they have that mentality. Like, the darker the skin, the less worthy type energy. Right? Like, yeah.
I mean, this is it's a real head picker. Because like on one end of things, it could do with skin tone. Another thing, dude, just
yeah, that's fine. People can have their preferences.
Yeah, but when I start hearing it's just basically strictly based off like, oh, she's dark skin. I hate the expression you're cute for a dark girl.
Skin. Like,
or
what?
like I don't date dark skinned girls.
Right.
Or like
I'll make an exception for you.
Yeah, I don't like those kind of statements because then it's like, okay, so what?
Typically, your kind is ugly to me. This is what I'm reading it as. Typically, your kind is ugly to me, but surprisingly, you're beautiful.
Yeah,
so
you're like a diamond in the rough.
And that's bullshit.
I feel like that's just honestly disrespectful. Honestly disrespectful.
So
I will say I'm a benefactor.
What?
Of pretty privilege, though. I learned it. I learned it in the serving industry.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was serving tables, it was few and far between that I was not tipped very well. I mean, I chalked it up to I just had good service.
You have a really great personality, but
I'm friendly, I'm personable. It does help
that you're good looking.
That I'm good looking. And this is the first time I've actually said that.
I'm proud of you though, because he don't do well with compliments, like any of that, y'all. Josh is probably.
If I can be transparent, for a very long time, I was very self-conscious about the way I look. I used to be surprised. Like, what, you think I'm cute? Like, I would always focus on my flaws. Like, I didn't like the scar on my eyebrow.
I think that's
and
sexy.
My teeth. I didn't like anything. So I was very self-conscious. But as you grow up, you start realizing some things.
You're treated differently.
Treated different.
This isn't even a matter of pretty privilege, but what just made me realize that too. I think we had a conversation some years ago about just what your experience as a black man might be being pulled over by cops. Versus maybe what my brother, for those who have never seen my brother is the epitome of a, I don't want to say that you know what I'm trying to say.
I'm a fair-skinned black man. You know what's crazy? Even at this complexion, where I grew up,
right,
I was the darkest one.
Exactly. So imagine being darker than you. Your experience is different.
Where I lived, I could not imagine that.
Yeah.
Because I was harassed.
Your brother-in-law.
Yes.
His experience is a little bit different than yours.
Much different.
You know what I mean? So it's just interesting because even that you can kind of almost tie into the conversation of pretty privilege. Obviously, we're not talking about getting alcoholic drinks at the bar, but just in terms of how you are treated in this society does have a lot to do with how you look, unfortunately. And that's disturbing to me because to me, when it comes to dating, when it comes to friendship, stuff like that, I don't give a fuck about how you look.
I'm not gonna say I don't give a damn about how you look.
You know what
I know what you mean.
Say,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. But I'm just gonna clarify. I did give a damn about how you look.
I give a damn how you look too. It was a huge bonus. But do you get what I'm trying to say though?
Yes.
You could have been this good looking, but if you had a trash personality, I wouldn't be with you right now.
Oh yeah.
And that's just it.
Yeah. It's the looks. The looks intrigue you. You can judge a book by the cover. If you like the cover of the book, you can read the book. Okay. But when you start getting to the pages and the book's not fulfilling, you put the book down. Okay.
You still like my book?
The cover was great. I'm on chapter 6, and I'm fully invested. Okay. I'm trying to see where this book goes.
Idiot,
you know what I'm saying? Fully invested. But it's a very that in particular is such a wicked problem because in one way you can't tell people what to like and what not to like, but in the same way you still want the respect put on brown skinned girls' names.
Brown chocolate,
whatever, man. Y'all, I hate that skin tone is a bias in any kind of
100%. And my niece kept on trying to about the pretty privilege conversation. She kept trying to tell me Easy, I think you have pretty privilege. I think you do. And I'm like, Maya, some of you guys might know of my best friend Dom, who actually kind of looks just like Josh if she was Josh's sister. They have the same eyes, same complexion, stuff like that. And I was explaining to Amaya, me and Dom are to walk, if we were to walk into the same room together with a group of guys, majority of their, and Dom was a gorgeous girl, so, but I was trying to explain to her, majority of the time, about 7-8 times out of 10, guys' attention and energy will be more towards her than me because of my complexion. Like, that's just what the situation has been. And I brought up college because I was around a lot of guy and male conversations, and it was just interesting hearing their perspective. Even one of your friends, who I'm not going to name, when he was here recently, was talking about how he's just not into dark-skinned women. He just doesn't like them. And I remember like a conversation in college, it even went down to like this guy talking about chocolate women's features on their body, not liking how that looks sometimes. Like,
yeah,
okay, I mean, I don't want to say too much without, but y'all are piecing together what I'm saying.
No, I totally get you. Like, yeah.
And that, hearing that as a, I mean, I haven't been like self-conscious about, because I mean, I had my guy, but imagine if I didn't, and I'm hearing these conversations as a dark-skinned black woman myself. I can still put myself in the shoes and like, dang, because I have hyperpigmentation in this area, I'm not deemed worthy because, you know what I mean? Like, it's very disappointing. It's a very toxic cycle.
People can be shallow.
Yeah, like just mad shallow. And I feel,
I mean, there was a war waged on light-skinned men for the longest time. War. There was a whole war. Do you not remember that? Do you not? Like,
please refresh me, babe.
In college, man, everyone used to get on me about, oh, you acting so light-skinned.
I do hate that.
And I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, like,
what does that mean? And I mean, like, I don't know, because like, there was dark-skinned people acting just like me. I'm like, are they acting light-skinned?
Yeah,
like,
what does that even mean?
What does it mean?
I mean,
what does it mean?
That's similar to people saying that highly intelligent. Please stop. That's similar to people saying highly intelligent black people who can have intellectual conversations. Oh, you're talking white. And that in itself, I'm not even going to get too deep into that right now. We'll maybe hold that for another conversation.
That's almost as annoying as pedestrian entitlement.
That's one of my like top pet peeves in life, to hear somebody say that to a black person. You're talking white. And that's super, especially saying that to a black kid.
Disrespectful.
It's more than disrespectful.
It's traumatizing. I feel like
it's traumatizing, but it's a bit detrimental to their.
So you're saying I need to talk a certain way to be accepted by my people.
Or if I talk this way, exactly. Yeah. And most of the time, when you're hearing, if you're a black person and you hear it from somebody, you're talking like a white person. It's from a black person that's saying that to you. Yeah. And that is just.
That's what we call self-sabotage.
100%. Thank you.
Yeah, we as people have to do better, especially in our own community. Before we expect the rest of the world to, change their views on us, we as a people have to change our views on us. And it starts with self. Yeah. Works its way out. So, I mean, you can say that about a lot of issues, but we're not going to dive
too deep.
That deep.
Yeah. I guess I brought up the pretty privilege thing because I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on that. Like, if you're someone who feels like you do have pretty privilege, in what ways has that shown itself in your life? Or if you feel like you don't, in what ways has it shown itself, in your life? Like, I'm very interested about that topic, hearing other women in particular opinion on that, because it was just insane to see how many women felt the same sentiments as the woman that I brought up, made the video in the first place.
Yeah. The sad truth and the fact of life is nowhere near fair. It's nowhere near fair. And the even sadder fact is it never will be. Yeah. No matter how bad we want it to be or not, is really like it's unfair. We as we're doing right now, we're doing our best to try and even the playing field. Speak it up so it's known.
Even the last thing I was gonna bring up too, because it's been a couple different times, comments, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, of people just being shook that you as a light-skinned man, or I really don't. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into you as your complexion would be with someone like me.
As if that's just like.
Like some women are like, oh my gosh, like very, like it's almost inspiring for them. For other women or other men, it's kind of like,
I mean, technically it is kind of inspiration though, because it doesn't happen, guys.
Well, I was gonna bring up how recently we had encountered that situation where dude dapped you up for being with somebody my complexion. Like, hey, bro, you got a chocolate queen, good for you type stuff. Like, and even that was kind of disappointing, but I feel like it goes to show. I wasn't really even feeling a way towards him because it's his like ignorance based off what society gives. Like,
but I think I appreciate sort of his sentiment of like, good shot, you got a chocolate queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that.
But I'm saying the fact that it was made such a big deal goes to show the lack thereof in this society.
Yeah, for sure.
For you to be dapped up
if you were light skinned, they'd just be like, oh, you got another girl, you know, kind of thing. It just looks more normal.
It's like, it's basically he was saying shout out to you for showing love to black women.
Yeah.
Or a child.
I guess our dynamic is rare.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. Ryan Destiny, Keith
Powers.
That is not my brother. That is not my twin.
Why are you so mad?
Y'all stay off my head, okay?
Baby.
I took Khalil Kane to the chest.
I mean, yeah, y'all are like identical, but Keith Powers and you have similar features.
Yeah.
And y'all probably would get along. I'm friends.
Not gonna give that life.
But anyway.
Keith, if you want to play some basketball, we can play some basketball. But that's it.
Yeah. Anyway.
But, yeah. I mean, we've been at this for now. What does that say? An hour and 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah,
I think we're just talking. I think this quality conversation has gone far enough. We also want to. Should we tell them that what we're trying to do with the quality conversations? Can
you tell me without telling them right now?
Come
on. No.
Okay, don't tell them?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave it a surprise. But yeah, that is all we have for you guys today. Really hope you guys stayed all the way to the end. If you did, good shot.
Also, comment below what other topics, because obviously when we hop on this, we're just going for it.
We're talking.
But if you guys have any topics in particular that you want us to touch on now that you're kind of starting to gauge, this is a pretty unfiltered
raw
conversation,
just kind of us.
Like, yeah, we want these in particular. Like the rest of our videos might have a little filthy here and there, but these quality conversations, we want to show our real, honest, authentic selves. Yeah. So if you guys have any topics that you want us to touch on and talk about, not political and not religious, I will say that we're not touching that.
Man,
them hot topics, we're not touching
them hot topics. Like, I'm not speaking on any statements that the president gave. I'm not speaking on any of that because like people, there's just too many opinions. It gets way too hot in the kitchen for a boy like me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and step out that kitchen. I think she has the same sentiments. So if you have some cool, lighthearted topics that could potentially go deep or anything like that, you could shoot it in our DMs on Instagram.
I was just gonna say comment. I don't check my DMs.
You don't? No. Okay, so you should definitely leave it in the comment section. But yeah, that's all we have for you guys. If you don't already know, I'm Hydrated Hero. She is Isimeme Edeko, and together we are Josh and Isi. Now you can follow one of us. You can follow two of us. You can follow all three of us. You might as well follow all three of us because we are happy, healthy, and hydrated on all three.
We really are, though.
We really are. But other than that, y'all, until we meet again, peace, love, hair grease, and we out. Hey, 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 subscribe. Hey, 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 new